Hello bikers and bike enthusiasts, I hope you're doing wonderful today. Welcome to Bearded Outlaw. My name is Arvin and today I'm going to be giving you my 1 month review of my Yamaha R3. So this is Raven. This is my 2019 matte black Yamaha YZF-R3. This is the non-ABS model. So I bought this bike over a month ago and I put 755 miles on it. I don't know about other motorcycles, but on this Yamaha R3 you need to do the first maintenance about 500 miles. So I was a little late in doing that, but I did get it done. I was a little late on doing that because I was waiting for the oil filter to come in, which took forever because of the COVID-19. There will be a tutorial video on how to do an oil change on a Yamaha R3, so stay on the lookout for that video. In the 1 month that I've had this motorcycle, I've learned to love her more and more every single day. I look for every excuse, every chance to take her out for a ride. So one thing I started doing is constantly checking the weather every single day. I look at the weather forecast for the next 5 days or 10 days and try to find out which days are going to be good for riding. Since I had this motorcycle, the weather has been pretty sucky. There were only a couple of days where I could actually go out for a ride and be really comfortable. Just last week there was a day when the weather was really warm, then it started raining for the next couple of days. When the rain stopped, it was below freezing and it's been cold even to this day. For those of you who don't know, this bike has a 321cc displacement. It does 0 to 60 in about 5.22 seconds. They say it maxes out at a top speed of 117 miles an hour, but I haven't had a chance to test it out yet. So there are a few things that I had to start doing differently as a motorcycle rider, and that's really plan out my trip, see where I'm going and the things that I need to take with me. This one day I went to a hardware store and I ended up buying something. Then when I got to the parking lot, I later realized I didn't have a way of carrying it home. Luckily, it was really cold that day, so I had my winter jacket on. So I ended up shoving it in my jacket and then riding it back. So another thing I started doing is pay close attention to the cars around me. I started paying attention to how they're driving and trying to anticipate what they're going to do. So since getting this bike, my sense of awareness has skyrocketed drastically. Another thing that was different for me was putting gas in the motorcycle. One thing you gotta pay attention to when you're putting gas on the bike is you don't want it to be on the kickstand, because then it's not going to be level. And you want your bike to be level when you're filling up the gas so that the gas tank gets filled up evenly and all the way to the top. Otherwise you're not going to fill it up all the way and your fuel gauge will read a little low. So the owner's manual said it can take regular gas, but the dealer told me to put premium, and so many other people, so that's what she gets. Yeah, so I put in about 2 gallons worth and that cost me about $5. So even though I put premium, I don't feel that my wallet takes such a huge hit. One thing you have to get used to as a rider is traffic lights. So here in America, there's a sensor under the road, and when a car pulls up, it gets tripped and it helps the light turn green. But since I'm on a motorcycle, it's really light, so the sensors might not get tripped, and so I have to wait and the light will never turn green. So sometimes if there's a car behind me, I usually tell them to pull up close to me. Otherwise I'm just going to be waiting forever. So here in Illinois where I live, if you wait for I think 2 cycles or 2 minutes, and if the light hasn't turned, you can go. See, the light should have turned green for me, but I'm on a motorcycle, there's nobody behind me, so it hasn't tripped. So we're waiting. So luckily there's a car over here, and so now I can go, otherwise I'll be SOL. All in all, I'm in love with this motorcycle. However, there are a few things that I really don't like about this motorcycle, and they're all cosmetic. The thing that I would say I hate the most about this motorcycle are the teardrop-shaped incandescent turn signals in the front of the motorcycle. The Yamaha R6 and R1 both have LED turn signals that are flush with the fairings. They look absolutely stunning. So when you see these turn signals after looking at the R6 and the R1, they look absolutely hideous. The other thing that I hate about this motorcycle is the rear fender. It's really long and it too is really hideous. The rear fender also holds a pair of teardrop-shaped turn signals that look equally as unpleasing as the front. One other thing I didn't like about this motorcycle are the brake and clutch levers that came from the factory. They looked really cheap and out of place on this motorcycle. So I replaced them with a pair of black adjustable levers, which just look more at home on this motorcycle. All in all, I think it's one of the best looking motorcycles out there. I love its curves, its sleek design, and I love the front air intake. And if you look at it from a certain angle, it looks like Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. When you take a look at performance, it's a 321cc motorcycle, so you get what you expect. It's obviously not going to accelerate as fast as a 600cc or a liter bike, but it's quick enough. It does a 0 to 60 in about 5.22 seconds, which is comparable to, I would say, a BMW 3 Series, maybe a 330i. So while she's not the fastest bike out there, she's plenty fast. The things that I mentioned that I didn't like about this motorcycle, the turn signals, the rear fender, the clutch and brake levers, those are easily replaceable. Like you've seen, I've already changed the stock levers to these black adjustable ones, and I think they look pretty nice. Once COVID-19 has passed and a sense of normalcy sets in, I will be changing out the incandescent teardrop-shaped LEDs in the front. I will also be doing a fender delete and replacing the stock brake lights with integrated brake and turn signals. With these modifications, I think this motorcycle will look a lot sportier and a whole lot sexier. In the future, I might or I might not replace a stock throttle tube with one from an R1 or R6. That way I get less throw, increasing the throttle response and making this bike sportier. So like I said, I've had this motorcycle for a little over a month. This has been my first motorcycle, and so far I am absolutely loving it. While you're riding, navigation is very important so you don't end up getting lost, so I needed a good phone mount for the bike. With a sport bike like this that has little real estate for attachments, my choices were not many. In the end, I got this quad lock phone mount because it was very low profile and it didn't take up so much space. When you're riding with your phone mounted, it's really sturdy and your phone doesn't vibrate even a bit. Those have been my thoughts on this 2019 YZF-R3 after owning it for a little over a month. She isn't the fastest bike out there, but she's tons of fun. With that, my fellow bikers and bike enthusiasts, I'm going to end the video right here. Remember, you don't stop riding because you get old. You get old because you stop riding, so don't stop.